Anyone in the comments?
There we
Yeah.
go. Hello, everybody. We are live.
Hi,
Happy
folks.
Saturday,
Happy Saturday. Thank you for joining us.
Vincent.
A little bit
Thank you.
earlier.
Yes.
This might be our regular time from now on. I know we've been bouncing around a little bit lately. I promise we're going to settle down.
Yes. It's just Sunday nights are hard, you know?
Yeah, well, Sunday nights just does not work for me. And I hope you guys like this kind of midday Saturday thing because it seems to be working in better with our schedules.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
like right now it's 11 a.m. in Central Time. So, like, most people are
mhm.
probably still sitting in their PJs drinking coffee on the couch,
I hope so.
I mean,
I would say eating cereal, but I just watched that David Chang documentary on the origins of breakfast cereal. So
oh,
don't eat breakfast cereal.
don't. I love Cheerios. Don't ruin that for me. Hi, Blossom and Terry. The last thing I watched was the Dolly Parton Netflix documentary. So
Oh, is that good?
I wish it kind of because it really just kind of barely glosses over her childhood and then jumps
Mm,
straight into her career in early
mm.
television before like her like huge country career. And I would have liked more of like her childhood and stuff,
Ah,
like maybe seeing the cabin where she grew up in because she owns it.
is it?
Um,
Did she move it to Dollywood, or is
I
it on
think
Dollywood property or something?
I think that one might be a replica. I'm not
Okay.
totally sure. But I know that she like owns the cabin that she grew up in. Michael is here.
Michael's in it, and I got to meet Michael in person. He does exist.
Yes, I
He is
saw the
not just a
pictures.
chat bot that exists on our YouTube streams. Yeah, it was great running into him. I did SeaWorld last night for their holiday event. They invited the media out,
Ooh,
and I got to snap a selfie with him. I won't share it here publicly because that would be rude.
yes,
But it was great meeting him, and hope I run into you again sometime.
yes. Brian saying, I don't know if you've read any of the trades this morning, but people are going back and forth between Kirsten Dunst being in Spider Man No Way Home or not.
You know, at this point,
Everyone's in that movie except for
at this
Emma
point,
Stone.
I would not be surprised if the Japanese Spider-Man from the like 1960s live action showed up at this
Yes,
point. You know, turned into a giant mecha Godzilla type kaiju. I
that would be awesome. I mean, it's starting to turn into a live action Spider Verse.
yeah.
There's a lot of talk
No one's talked
happening.
about a Miles Morales showing up though yet.
I
I haven't
That's what
heard
I
that rumor yet.
want. That's what I want, but I don't know who I would want to play. Maybe like I know this is probably problematic or frowned upon, but I really like Jordan Fisher. He seems like I don't know, like the guy right now, but you never know. There is people are talking on Twitter about something happening Spider-Man related soon, but I don't know what that is.
Well, we did get that teaser poster
Yeah,
that
the
shows Ock and Green Goblin and
yes,
Sandman and Electro. So I
yes.
guess that's as much confirmation as we're going to get until there's another trailer.
Honestly, I don't even see the trailer showing any of the special multiverse
Hmm.
guests. Honestly, because that feels like revealing too much. I don't know. I kind of almost just want to wait and see what happens.
Wait
Um,
for a movie and actually watch it before you judge it? Wait, what? What?
Shocking, I know. All right.
So
Well,
what are we at here?
we are at 17. Let's just go ahead and get
Let's do it.
started. Okay, in three, two. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 113 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by Destinations with Character Travel. I'm Brittany,
And I'm Seth.
and we're here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. Seth, how have you been this week?
I've been great. Thanks for asking. My theme park adventures this week took me to Disney World, Disney's Hollywood Studios for Disney Plus Day, which I think we'll talk about in a little more detail later on. Spoiler alert, Disney World kind of did not get as much cool stuff that Disneyland did
Oh,
for Disney Plus Day. So sorry, Florida. Uh, but it was still fun stopping by, and I also got to check out SeaWorld Orlando's holiday entertainment, and some of similar stuff is going to be at other SeaWorlds around the country, which we'll chat about in a little bit. So it was an excellent way to kick off the holiday season. Obviously, we skip right over Thanksgiving. We're deep into Christmas already.
yes.
How was your week?
My week was good. Josh is off on another documentary shoot, so it's just been me, and I've used that time to catch up on TV shows I haven't finished, movies I haven't watched. I finished Grand Theft Auto 5 last night.
You're only, what, 5 years late on that one?
Right, no, more like 10. It came out in like
That's okay.
2013.
Oh my, it's that old. Wow, I still have it
Yeah.
installed on my hard drive, and I think I'm like 20% through the campaign now.
I just like once I'm gonna say something controversial. It was good, but I think Rockstar's storytelling improved with the Red Dead games because the endings
It's a
that
bold statement.
yeah, well, the endings you could choose which ending you wanted. There were three, and it just didn't feel like emotionally weighty enough to like close out a game. Maybe my standards are too high because I'm playing a 13-year-old game. Um, but it didn't feel like it had that gravitas at the end, you know.
Hmm.
But it was still good. I still really enjoyed it, and now I can have my life back and just play Animal Crossing like usual.
Like usual. Well, I've
Yeah.
been playing Forza Horizon 5, which is
Oh yeah.
included if you have Xbox Game Pass. And there's no gravitas to that, but
It's just
it is
cars.
probably the best open world driving game I've ever played. And the visuals, if you have a decent graphics card, pretty gorgeous.
Those
Check that
visuals
one out if
are
you've got a Xbox Game Pass.
yes, those visuals are incredible. It just looks real, which is
Yeah.
insane. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and talk about this week's news. First up this week, and if you've watched any Marvel movies on Disney Plus, you might have noticed this already, but you can now stream in IMAX aspect ratio on select Marvel films on the Disney Plus app. This is something I never expected. It kind of came out of the blue. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, so I actually watched Shang-Chi last night for the first time. I hadn't seen it in theaters, but I watched it at home, and I did watch it with the IMAX aspect ratio, which basically means if you're watching the regular version, I think it was at 2.35 to 1, which is basically really thick black bars at the top and the bottom of your screen. And this reduces the black bars to very, very narrow strips. It pretty much will completely fill, your standard 16:9 television. And it's not that it's cutting off stuff at the sides like pan and scan. It's actually adding more information at the top and bottom. I think that if you've got a big TV, I have a ridiculously big TV. I've got a 125-inch projector at home.
Oh my god.
And so basically, if you sit on my couch, it's pretty much filling your view the same as an IMAX movie theater does. And if you've got a setup like that, this is great because you're taking advantage more of the real estate that you've paid for. However, I got to say, I just saw this on social media right before we started talking. The director of Doctor Strange
Yes,
has
Scott
gone on the
Derrickson.
record. He's not a fan of it. And I think he was a little confused. I think he thought at first that they were only letting people see the IMAX version. You have the choice. If you want to stick with the widescreen version, go ahead. That's the default. You have to go, you got to kind of come down into the versions. It's next to the extras when you're in Disney Plus, and you have to manually select the IMAX version if you want it. So it's a choice, and it was actually if you've got the 3D version of the Blu-ray, That's also got the IMAX. So that's been out and available for a while. I get his point that he only intended that version to be seen on IMAX screens. But like I said, if you've got the right equipment at home, I think it does add something. You're not losing anything. You're gaining more information. But ultimately, if you respect the director's intent, a Doctor Strange, don't watch that version, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
I just have
yeah,
a
this is
55.
not actually totally new. This is the first time I've seen this on a streaming service, but they've been doing this on Blu-ray for a little while. The first one I remember is The Dark Knight. That was
Ooh.
shot with some scenes in IMAX, and if you got the Blu-ray version, you'll notice that the black bars at the top and bottom disappear for certain scenes in Dark Knight. So it's a similar sort of thing for this.
I feel like my TV is big, but now that you said how big your screen is, it's like dwarfed. I just have a 55-inch
Projectors are a great
TV.
investment if you've got the room in your house and your spouse will put up with it. I
I don't think I
recommend one
have the
with a
wall
screen that
space.
retracts. Screen that we have a motorized drop down screen. It's
Oh,
really not that pricey. Like the price of the whole setup was about the same as getting a regular 65-inch flat screen. So
okay.
if you're into movies, you gotta the key is you gotta have a room where you can close the windows because you gotta control the light. Doesn't
Oh,
work good in
yeah.
a bright room. But yeah. So if you're looking into invest in that and then subscribe to Disney Plus and check out some of those IMAX versions.
Yes. Over at Epcot, now that we're kind of starting to really get back into the groove with theme parks kind of offering more things, if not just modified things, you can now find character sighting times now in the My Disney Experience app for Walt Disney World.
Yeah, this is a great help for, especially if you are a character hunter or your kids are character hunters. It was really tough for a while to figure out which characters were going to be where. When they were doing character cavalcades, which were just these little mini parades, especially in Epcot, you never know who was going to come or when. And maybe you could track down a cast member who could tell you, but now you can just look it up in the app. So you want to know where Snow White's going to be? Boom, you got the times, and you can plan your day around that if that's something you're into.
Um, we have examples of Princess Jasmine in Morocco, Elsa and Anna at the Royal Summer House, and Snow White in Germany by the Wishing Well, of course. But so far, this seems to only be for Epcot and not for the other parks. Magic Kingdom is still offering cavalcades, but Mickey Mouse is meeting in Town Square Theater now. And I think all the princesses are back in Princess Fairy Tale Hall at this point.
Yeah, I stopped in Princess Fairy Tale Hall on I think the second or third day that it reopened. And I want to give a word of warning. They are not doing hugs and they are not doing autographs. And I saw several little kids in line holding their autograph books and were very excited because no one told them when they got in line that there were going to be no autographs. And when they got up to the front of the line after waiting, they were kind of heartbroken. So prepare your kids ahead of time. You get to take a selfie. You get to wave and talk at them from behind a little rope, but no close contact right now still.
That's so sad. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. That's just like
I know. No, I felt bad. There were a couple little girls who seemed kind of distraught. So. Warn your kids, prepare them ahead of time.
And
but we're slowly getting back to normal. It's just a matter of time.
And this is also something, if you utilize Disney Genie at all, you can place these in your interests and it will recommend you the best times to go and cite these character sightings for the princesses and beyond. Kennywood Park in Pittsburgh is celebrating their 10th annual Holiday Lights Spectacular this holiday season, kicking off on November 20th through December 24th.
Kennywood is out in the Pittsburgh area, kind of western Pennsylvania. And they are a great traditional park with a lot of really fantastic vintage rides. And their holiday traditions include what they're calling Pennsylvania's tallest Christmas tree. It's 100 feet tall. And that's kind of the centerpiece, along with light shows. There's live entertainment. It's Pennsylvania, so we have to have a petting zoo. And something I think is really cool, the Pittsburgh Independent High Railers O-Gauge Model Railroad Club puts together an absolutely massive model train display.
Wow. Should it come over to the Germany Pavilion at Epcot? You can also enjoy a dinner with Santa experience with a holiday themed menu. And younger guests are invited to write a letter to Santa that will be sent straight to the North Pole, so you don't have to worry about it getting lost in the mail or anything.
Kennywood's also kind of known for their food. They've got some new holiday snack options. The one that jumped out at me was apple pie pizza. So someone give that a try. Let us know how that is. And if you want a more traditional Christmas dinner, there's going to be that option too.
And Kennywood is also looking to set a world record on November 26th during their Holiday Lights event with the world's, I assume that's supposed to say world's largest ugly sweater party.
Or maybe it's just the world's ugliest sweater party.
Oh, see, now that's subjective.
That is subjective. I don't know how the Guinness Book of World Records can quantify the ugliest, but they are teaming up with two of their sister parks. There's Lake Compounce in Connecticut, Dutch Wonderland in Pennsylvania. Oh, and I'm sorry, three, Castle Park in California. So all four of those parks teaming up for a cross-country world record effort. So I guess you can wear your ugly sweater on November 26th and show up to join in for the attempt.
But don't expect anyone to tell you if it's the ugliest sweater. And of course, weather permitting, Kennywood will also add their Jackrabbit roller coaster to the lineup of events or attractions open during the event, making it the park's first coaster that they've ever operated in the winter. Sounds super cold, but also
sounds like an amazing way to get frostbite on your face.
What's a little frostbite? Come on. Season pass holders are able to attend a pass holder only grand reopening on November 19th, which is just a few days away. So if that applies to you, definitely go check that out and ride the roller coaster in the cold.
Yeah, they had to cancel their holiday events last year. So there's going to definitely be some pent up demand. They've extended, I think, 24 nights this year, and even going past Christmas all the way till January 2nd. So if you're out in Western Pennsylvania, definitely put that on your holiday wish list.
You talked about this earlier with SeaWorld Orlando, but Christmas Celebration has also returned to SeaWorld San Diego. It started yesterday on November 12th, on the day that we're recording this anyway, and runs through January 2nd with new offerings as well as favorites from years past.
Yeah, all the SeaWorld parks do a really great job of a traditional Christmas. And this year, something they've added in both Orlando and here in San Diego is Elmo's Christmas Wish Show. It takes place in an indoor theater. I didn't get to see it last night at Orlando, but I did get to see the SeaWorld's Sesame Street holiday parade, which is absolutely adorable. If you get a chance to see that at any of the SeaWorld parks, don't miss that.
The song is like an earworm.
Totally stuck in my head still.
They've also got Santa's Circus Show, which features stunts, illusions, and knee-slapping comedy of Santa's Cirque-style performers in a family-friendly show, offering snowfall in Jingle Bell Square, tons of holiday lights, as well as some favorite offerings from the past, like Clyde and Seymour's Christmas Special, Sesame Street Christmas Village, Rudolph's Christmas Town, You can have a holiday brunch with Elmo and your favorite Sesame Street friends, Christmas cookies with Cookie Monster, and of course, holiday fireworks to close out the evening.
Yeah. I did get to take a selfie with Rudolph last night, and that was definitely one of the highlights of the evening. And SeaWorld has been upping their game in terms of fireworks in all the parks. So that is definitely something you want to stay until closing for.
Yes. Sorry. It's only on select nights in November and
Mhm.
December, though, so be sure to check the park guide when you go, just so you're not disappointed if there aren't fireworks happening that night.
Right.
It is California, after all.
Sure.
They've also got some other non-Christmas related festive celebrations. The park will be celebrating Hanukkah and Kwanzaa with menorah lightings on November 28th through the December 6th. And from December 26th through January 1st, they will do a nightly lighting of the Kinara for Kwanzaa.
Everyone's
So,
included.
yes, everyone's included. So definitely check that out if that is in your neck of the woods. And if you're in Orlando, the offerings are pretty similar across the
Hmm.
board. So you can enjoy that
Yep.
in
Yeah,
Orlando as
each
well.
park has a few individual things. Orlando kicked off their first Sounds of the Season concert series last night with Darlene Love, and they've also got ice skating, which is always fun. But yeah, all the SeaWorld parks really go all out for their Christmas celebrations.
Mm-hmm. Princess Cruises has unveiled their first look at the Enchanted Princess, the newest medallion class ship to join the cruise line's global fleet. And it seems massive.
Yeah, it's I think over 3,700 guests, which is a pretty decent sized ship, and they've got 25 different bars and restaurants. Everything from a bistro that comes from a 3 Michelin star chef, to a pasta room, steakhouse, burgers, pizza, you name it. You'll definitely not starve on this ship.
There's no way you could hit all 25,
25, yeah.
right?
You would need a 2 week cruise, right? At least.
Yeah. They also will have Sky Suites, which were first introduced on the Sky Princess, but these are luxury suites that offer a suite experience manager, accommodations for up to 5, and the largest balcony for the cruise line at 1,000 square feet.
I have lived in apartments that were smaller than 1,000 square feet.
I think that's
That's kind
bigger
of
than my
crazy.
house.
Yeah.
Which sounds incredible. You're living in style. There are multiple hot tubs and pools, 2 deep tank pools adjacent to the top deck bar. There's an infinity style pool where you can just lay and soak up the watery goodness and then watch the boat as it travels. And the retreat pool is also kind of a quiet option.
Yeah. And once you're totally like sunburnt and wrinkled, then you can go to one of their stage shows. They're going to be staging rock opera, which originally debuted on the Sky Princess, and it kind of fuses avant-garde costumes with classic rock and operatic music. Interesting combination. And something else that looks cool, they've got a venue called Five Skies, which features what they call a virtual gaming world with spectacular digital effects and acrobatics. So that sounds like an interesting show to check out.
I can't even imagine what that is like because you say virtual gaming world, I think of like a VR space where it's like
Yeah,
the black box and you can just walk around with a headset on, but the
I
acrobatics
guess
throws me off.
Matt's going to have to book us on one of these cruises so we can
We have to find out. There's also Take 5, which offers kind of a vintage feel transporting guests back to the jazz era. You can enjoy nightly live jazz and enjoy some cocktails crafted exclusively for the lounge venue, which sounds awesome.
And then you've got, you know, you've got your spas, you've got your fitness centers, movies under the stars, pretty much all of your standard Princess Cruise amenities. If this sounds interesting to you, head on over to princess.com on December 13th, or Princess Cruises Facebook page or YouTube channel. And they're going to be broadcasting a special naming ceremony on the 13th. So that'll give you a little preview of what the ship is like. It actually started its inaugural cruise on November 10th. And they're going to be doing 10-day Caribbean itineraries out of Fort Lauderdale for a little while. And then catch them while you can in Florida, because it's going to be heading off to Europe then.
I guess we have to do it.
Yep.
Podcast from a cruise. I don't even.
I can do that.
I can't
The
imagine
Wi-Fi is
Wi-Fi.
expensive, but it's a sacrifice we'll have to make.
Yes. Universal Orlando has brought back their Military Freedom Pass, which was launched in 2020. Now valid for visiting Universal Orlando's 2 parks every day from the 11th of this month through January 31st of next year, with 0, count them, 0 blockout dates.
This is if you are eligible, if you are, I guess, active duty or retired military personnel, or you've got family, you might want to take advantage of this, because $200 for basically an annual pass plus, you're getting a year and a month or so, for $200 is way cheaper than the no blackout date annual passes available to regular guests. The one catch you got to be aware of is it does not include any of the regular annual pass discounts or benefits. There's no free parking. There are no discounts. You don't get to participate in annual pass holder events. But that's still a really phenomenal savings.
And only adding on to get Volcano Bay added onto that as well, it's just $35.
$35, yeah. On top of that, they're also offering some special vacation packages that include tickets with hotel stays. There's a create your own vacation package, and there's also a special Wizarding World of Harry Potter package that includes some Harry Potter extras. So any of those, you can visit your authorized military ticket travel office. If you Google for that, there's an 877 number that they can connect you with, and you can take advantage of some of those offers.
Military members can also get 40% off a stay at Cabana Bay, which is, I think, like one of my like top hotels at Universal Orlando, just for the aesthetic alone.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Cabana Bay is a really great value at its normal price, and 40% off is better than they give annual pass holders or local residents.
It's a steal.
Yeah.
So definitely, this is an offer and a huge discount you don't want to miss. If you can take advantage of it, seriously consider it. Just because.
So belated Happy Veterans Day.
Yes.
Go out and take advantage of that one.
Here's some interesting news. Knott's Berry Farm, in 2 days from the day that we're recording this, on November 15th, is officially going cashless.
Yeah, this came as a big surprise to me. I did not necessarily expect Knott's of all the major California theme parks to be the one to do this. But basically, you're going to need a credit card, a debit card, or a phone with Apple Pay or Google Pay if you want to buy stuff inside the parks. Any walk-up vendor, any snacks that you would have handed over cash for before, sorry, no more cash accepted. There is a way. They're selling these things called cash to cards, they've got kiosks throughout the park where you can charge up a card with between $1 and $500 and then spend that in the park. But they're not charging you for getting that card, but if you leave money on that card,
we've lost your audio.
2 days.
Okay. We just
so
missed all of what you just
I
said.
don't know. I would definitely plan on having your card or your tap to pay ready when visiting Knott's. Do not be surprised by this when you arrive.
I'm sure what you said was very important. But
Well,
we
I've
did not
lost my
hear
audio.
anything
I don't
that
know
you
if you
said.
can hear me, but I can't hear you. So
I can hear
okay.
you.
Well, I'm gonna log off and back on, and you're gonna keep talking.
Yes. Sorry about that, guys. This is what happens when you record a podcast over the internet, and the internet is not always super reliable. Hopefully, you can still hear me, at least, so I don't also have to leave and come back. If you are in the comments, let me know if you can still hear me or if I'm just speaking out into the void.
I'm
Hello.
back. Hello.
Hi.
We can edit all this out in post.
Yes, Brian,
Sorry about that. So
yes.
I was talking for quite a while, and I don't know if anyone heard me or if you heard
Nope.
me or nope.
You started talking about the cash to card, and then you just went silent.
I just went away. Awesome.
Yeah.
So why don't you jump in, and then
Yes.
we'll fix this later in post.
Yes. So
Those of you watching this live, none of this happened.
None of this happened. If you don't carry a card with you, or if you are just one of those I am a cash only person, you can utilize these cash to card kiosks and transfer any amount from $1 to $500 onto the card, but they are not reloadable. And if you put money on that card, you're going to want to spend it because after 92 days of no transaction activity, if you leave any monetary amount on that card, you'll get charged $3.95 per month, I guess, like a maintenance fee. So definitely spend all the money you put on those things. Just in case.
That fee seems a little sketchy to me, but they say they're moving to this cashless model because it, quote, allows the park to conduct contactless transactions because it's faster, safer, and always secure. I gotta say, personally, I never ever use cash in parks anymore. The only time I ever use cash around a theme park is if I'm tipping, parking or something.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm a tap to pay person. I'm an Apple Wallet guy.
Yeah, I mean, with Walt Disney World specifically, the Magic Bands are, I mean, they're great for that. You just boop, and then you don't even think about it. You don't see any kind of monetary figures or anything, which might be a little dangerous. But
I always ask for my receipt.
Yeah, for the sake of convenience, it's easy. Apple Pay is also really great, or tap to pay. Even cards can do that now. So just be prepared. They still have cash accepted at other places in the park or outside of the park, like parking booths, the Christmas crafters during their holiday markets, the California Marketplace, and the Knott's Berry Farm Hotel. So keep that in mind. If you just really want to spend your physical paper dollars, that's where you can do it.
Thank goodness they're still accepting it at parking, because can you imagine the backup at the toll booths?
Oh my gosh.
If they had to explain to everyone, no, we don't take cash anymore. That would be a nightmare for the operations folks.
This is the first of like the major California parks to do this. Disney has basically done it with their My Disney Experience app and the Disneyland app and Magic Bands and such, but cash is still accepted in a lot of places at the parks.
Yeah.
Universal as well. I think they have tap to pay options available, but you can also pay with cash. Do you think we'll see Disney and Universal kind of take this plunge, or is that too much?
What I will say is that Knott's has an advantage in that their attendance is almost exclusively locals. when you have a resort like Disney or Universal that gets a lot of foreign visitors who may not have smartphones that are compatible with our systems, or may not have credit cards that are compatible with their systems, see a lot of Brazilians, Brits often come over with cash. So I think that they'd have to change that behavior before they can stop accepting cash.
Yeah, just pay with Bitcoin. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, your ticket can be worth $1 million more or less depending on what second you buy it at. And
Disney
that
has
sounds like
started
a good idea.
accepting Dogecoin. Congratulations. I'm just kidding. We won't get into that
No,
conversation.
that is not fake news. Fake news. Not Vegas is the only place I know that accept cryptocurrency.
Yes. Brian just said Diz Tonk.
No.
That's what you have
All
to
right.
buy Disney's new NFTs with. That's the only currency that they accept. Anyway.
Do not get your stock advice from us, please.
No, don't. The only stock market I utilize is the Animal Crossing stock market.
I hope you're paying taxes on all that.
Oh no, of course it's Tom Nook is a socialist.
Yeah. I'm going to set up a Twitter poll. I think you're going to have to sell 10% of your shares.
Oh my god.
So that you can pay your taxes, just like Elon Musk.
We're getting too off the rails. I'm sorry. Legoland California Resort has announced a new Ferrari build and race attraction where you can build your own Ferrari and race it. It's all in the name.
If Banks is listening, please bring this one to Florida, because this attraction sounds like a lot of fun. It starts out with a life-size Ferrari F40 made out of Legos that you'll be able to take pictures with. And you're going to first get to build, I'm sorry, you as in the kids participating. I don't know if adults are going to be allowed.
You as an adult.
It's going to be me, darn it. You get to build your own Ferrari car out of Legos, and you've got 3 different tracks that you can test it out on. And then you get to build a digital car and then race that digital car against other builders. So it's got both a physical component and a virtual component to it, which I think is really neat.
And then if you have smaller members of your party with you, they will also have a Duplo build zone with bigger blocks, so you can also participate and build something to race. And then Lego minifigure mechanics and crew members inside will prompt all sorts of build inspirations throughout your experience, so you can the sky is the limit as far as to how crazy you want your build to be.
And this is going to be something that is included in the regular park admission, so it's not an upcharge.
One thing that I thought was really cool is that the track that the cars race on digitally is a Lego track based on Ferrari's private racetrack that they used to develop and test cars.
No. If you're going to mention it, you're going to have to pronounce it.
I'm scared.
And it's Italian, so it helps if you hold your hand like that.
No!
Come on. You're going to...
Pista di Fiorano. I don't...
Pista di Fiorano. It's
sure.
Good. No, yes. That's my Jewish Italian pronunciation.
But that's cool. Something that people wouldn't normally get to see anyway, but you can experience it in Lego form. So, very cool. Are you back? Yes. Did you cut out?
Again. I don't know why this keeps happening. I'll see you.
But this opens in spring 2022 at Legoland, California. Banks, if you're listening, put in a good word for Florida. Be fair to Florida. This would be fun. And I would love to see people try to sit in the Lego Ferrari F40. I bet it hurts. If you stepping on Legos hurts. Sitting on Legos has to hurt, right?
Yeah, I hope the padded leather seats, because otherwise I'd be taking a very quick picture and then getting back out.
Well, that's the padded leather seats are also made out of Legos. That's the joke. We have an update for you. We've talked about this previously, but now we have the full lineup of celebrity narrators for Epcot's Candlelight Processional this year, including Ali'i Carvalho, Chita Rivera, Jody Benson, Alton Fitzgerald White, Bart Millard, Lisa Lang, Andy Garcia, Anna Gasteyer, Courtney B. Vance, Stephen Curtis Chapman, Blair Underwood, and Pat Sajak closing out the event.
Yep. They kick off on the 26th of November, and it's going to be every night all the way up through the 30th. It's a good lineup this year, but you know who's missing?
I know. It was a glaring omission.
Where is Neil Patrick Harris? I feel like it is not really the Epcot Christmas without Neil Patrick Harris.
Or Kurt Russell. He comes often as well.
Kurt Russell comes often. We also used to get Edward James Olmos. I've seen him do it a few times. Always good. I'd say, well, Chita Rivera, she's a legend. I've seen Jody Benson do it a couple times, and she's really fantastic. So some good folks on the lineup this year.
Yes. You can also book dining packages for this, and they've been available since October 26th. We talked about that before. Which is you have dinner and then you travel over to your reserved seating, or I guess it's guaranteed seating, not reserved, for the Candlelight Processional. I have never actually sat down and watched it. I've watched it from a distance.
Right, because it fills up, so
yes.
You often wind up standing just outside of it. You can still, you can definitely hear it. And you can still enjoy it standing. But if you want a seat, you might want to invest in one of those dining packages because it is very popular. People line up at least a half hour before the performances to get a seat.
They will be doing the Candlelight Processional 3 times a night, which is a lot. I feel like they only used to do it 2 times. Did they add one?
I'd have to look up an old schedule on.
But it will.
They got to work these. They're flying these people down. They're giving their families vacations. They got to make them work. Come on.
You got to earn it. The Voices of Liberty will be participating this time around, as well as a choir of Disney cast members and a live orchestra.
Yes. No, not having the volunteer community choirs so that they can control because they know all employees are vaccinated by now. So.
Yes.
For safer singing.
Brian asked if we have any confirmed information for Disneyland's Candlelight Processional. I don't even know if they've said if they're doing it or not.
No, I don't think I've seen any announcement on that yet.
It's getting very close. I've never done the Candlelight Processional over at Disneyland, but this one is Walt Disney World is a thing. It's not just a one-time deal or people buy dinner to do this thing.
Yeah, Disneyland's is when it has happened. It's been on much fewer nights, a lot smaller attendance, a lot harder to get a seat for that.
Yeah. So go ahead and book your dining room reservations if there's someone on that list that you like. A couple of Disney princesses, some returning legends, some staples. A good lineup, even if Neil Patrick Harris is not on it this time.
Neil, we hope you come back next year.
Yes. Or Gary Sinise. He wasn't on it either.
Oh, yeah, Gary. Gary is another staple.
Yes. If you are local to the Central Florida area, you've no doubt heard about Night of a Million Lights at Give Kids the World. It has returned for a second year and officially kicked off yesterday, though they've had media previews and things over the past few days. And it runs through January 2nd.
I don't think I got a media invite for this one. I need to make my way out there. Basically, if you were a fan of the Osborne Christmas light display at Hollywood Studios before they tore down the streets of America for Star Wars, this is probably the closest that you're going to find to that in the Orlando area. Not the least which because a lot of these lights were actually donated to them by Walt Disney World. But they basically make the whole village come to life. And there are all these little houses. That's kind of what I loved about the old Osborne lights way back in the day at Disney's MGM studios at the time, because it was kind of like a little residential street that each house had, its own little character to it, and that's sort of what they've done here. But they've upgraded it so that there are 21 fully programmed buildings throughout the complex, 6 different 3-minute holiday vignettes that play each hour, all of it set to music. Plus, you've got a marketplace selling food and beverages, you've got merchandise, and of course, Santa, because you can't have a Christmas event without Santa.
I don't know if you went to last year's event or not, but did they have the tram? Is the tram new? I thought they made you walk last time.
I'm not sure about that, but this year, yeah, they've got a little tram that will take you around the village.
And then they've also got some exclusive, balcony experiences. So if you have a loved one that you are looking to pop the question in a holiday setting, you can do that. You can have a vow renewal and give kids the world amidst all the Christmas lights, birthday and anniversary celebrations, which is not something that they offered last year, if I remember correctly. So that's neat.
And of course, the best part of all this is that the proceeds from your tickets are all going to support Give Kids the World, and they do amazing work with kids who have serious health issues, giving them and their families kind of an escape from all of that, and giving them VIP treatment at the parks.
I mean, it goes without saying, putting on this event last year amidst all of the pandemic stuff really saved Give Kids the World.
Oh, literally, because they had to shut down their operations, and they were really hanging on by a thread. And this is really, really important last year, and I hope it's now an annual tradition.
Yeah, I mean, people seem to love it. I saw someone say on Twitter yesterday that this is like the new Osborne lights for Central Florida.
Yep.
So it can't be missed. Go see it and then support a really wonderful nonprofit while you're doing it. But that is everything we have for news in the queue. And before we get to this week's main attraction, let's get a quick word from our sponsor.
Here at Destinations with Character Travel, we offer the best experience with your travels. Need to visit the thrilling Disneyland Resort, Walt Disney World? Maybe lounge about on a Disney cruise or any other major cruise line? No problem. So if you're looking for a stress and hassle-free vacation, visit us at www.destinationswithcharacter.com. Contact us today and let us plan a magical vacation for you and your family.
It's time for the main attraction!
And this week's main attraction, I would be remiss if we did not talk about Disney Plus Day, which was yesterday, as of the day that we were recording this.
Now, just to clarify, is Disney Plus Day now an official legal federal holiday like Amazon Prime Day is?
So does that mean we get it as a paid day off?
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're trying to make it. I have a couple bones to pick about how this day went down, but
Just a couple.
So this was the second anniversary of Disney Plus launching, and they decided to celebrate with week-long celebrations, which mostly involved just giant inflatable balloon installations. Characters in the parks, Disney Plus subscribers got some special perks, but you had to jump through a few hoops in order to prove that you were a subscriber to get those perks. And then they had a long Twitter thread, which could have just been like a live stream or something, announcing all of the new and upcoming content for the service, which is where most of my bones are. But
well, before you get to your bones about the content, let's talk a little about the celebration, the hype. They advertised that there would be special events at all the Disney resorts, Disneyland Paris, Disneyland in California and at Disney's Hollywood Studios in Florida. So I headed over to Disney's Hollywood Studios, and I guess if you were there in the first half hour, they opened the park a half hour early to guests who could prove they had Disney Plus subscriptions. And those folks got pins and hats. I did not make it there in time for that early opening, so I got nothing.
You get nothing.
You get nothing. Apparently, in order to prove it, you had to have downloaded the Disney Plus streaming app onto your phone. Now, I personally have it on my Apple TV at home. I have it on my iPad. I don't generally keep that on my phone. And even though the My Disney Experience app, if you go into your profile, it shows there that you have a Disney Plus subscription. Apparently, that wasn't good enough. You still had to show the Disney Plus apps. I'm not sure what was up with that, but I guess it worked out. People got in. People got their hats and pins. But what I was so excited for was that they were going to do an exclusive motorcade. Supposed to be a special one-day only character motorcade of Disney Plus characters. So I was thinking that maybe I see a Mandalorian or an Agatha.
Something. I mean,
Zombie Captain America, something, because they've had all this kind of stuff out in Disneyland. What we got was a motorcade consisting of Mickey and Minnie, Sully from Toy Story, and Princess Tiana wearing a 1920s flapper style outfit, which may be connected to the new series they announced for her on Disney Plus. But there were no characters that you couldn't already see around the parks.
Well, that's lame.
That was kind of a letdown. And the other thing that was a little odd was that there was probably more signage, more collateral, more hype around the park for Disney Plus Day than there had been on October 1st in the Magic Kingdom for the 50th anniversary.
Oh no!
It felt like they, at least for signage and they had these big vinyl things on the ground to take pictures with. I think they spent more money on that for Disney Plus Day than they did on October 1st. That's what it felt like.
We love corporate synergy. Yeah, when they said, because they announced that they were going to do stuff in the parks like character encounters and things,
yeah.
I imagine they're finally going to give us a Din Djarin Mandalorian walk around character or something. Because I mean, everyone and their brother.
They did haul out Darth Vader. I did see Darth Vader standing on the defunct Jedi training stage next to. But he just sort of walked out on the stage, walked around a little bit. Again, socially distanced. So I mean, that was better than nothing. It was nice seeing Darth again.
Do we not have? Is there not like an Obi-Wan face character? Was that never a thing? I know there was an Anakin one once upon a time.
There was an Anakin once. They need now a middle-aged Obi-Wan to go with the new show.
Yeah, but I mean, like Brian said here in the chat, the rumors of like Baby Yoda and Mando coming to the parks. They talked about it forever. It goes against the timeline of Galaxy's Edge, so they don't fit. And it just never happened. But this seemed like a great opportunity, if anything, just to put them up in Walt Disney Presents like they used to do with Groot and Star-Lord.
Yeah. No, that meet and greet section is completely walled off now.
Nothing.
Yeah, and Star Wars Launch Bay also. They've completely blocked off all the areas where the meet and greets were. It definitely, the closest we got to seeing Grogu in the parks yesterday is that if you open up the Disney app, they made a augmented reality photo lens with Grogu that was free to everyone yesterday, and I did take a couple selfies with him in Batuu, so that was fun.
That's cute, at least. But yeah, it just seemed kind of lacking, and I know that Marvel specifically is kind of
yeah. I don't know that Agatha.
I don't know if she's
one of the characters that is covered under the Universal license. I'm pretty sure she is not. But Yeah, probably zombie Captain America would have annoyed Universal down the road.
Yeah, and Loki too. I don't know if Loki is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Normally, it's like if they're on display, like if they're in the murals or
Yeah, there's
visible in the
that
land.
key mural that pretty much covers every licensed character.
Yeah, but Agatha would have been great because she was a hit at Disneyland during Oogie Boogie.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and
well, let's talk a little about some of the actual things that you will be able to watch on Disney
yes.
Plus that they were hyping.
Okay, so
and
yesterday,
there's a pretty good list.
Yeah, it's a long list. So this is where my bones that I want to pick begin.
Pick away.
So they hyped up this big, like, we're going to reveal so much on Disney Plus Day. And I think all of us in the attractions work group chat were just like sitting around with our Disney Plus apps open, waiting for something. It turns out that they were doing it all on Twitter, which is fine. But like, in a world where things like DC Fandom from Warner Brothers exists, where it's like a live streamed thing on HBO Max, and it's like a big event where they show trailers and stuff, literally what they were doing yesterday. This kind of felt lackluster, and you could only watch the sneak peeks of each of the shows if you go into the Disney Plus app anyway. They were not posted online immediately, so like, what was the point? Why couldn't you just do it all on the app itself, which would have been cool? But anyway, Disney, Lucasfilm, Pixar, Marvel, and Hulu and Star in international markets and National Geographic all had things to share. So we'll just run through them really quick. The Cheaper by the Dozen remake coming in March 2022. Disenchanted coming in fall 2022.
I got a bone to pick with that one.
Oh, yeah? Let's hear it.
Disenchanted is the sequel to Enchanted, which is a great live-action tribute to the classic animated Disney films, kind of a cult classic. And it's finally going to be streaming on the service. It's been hard to find for a while. But the sequel, Disenchanted, a couple friends of mine wrote an off-Broadway musical that was very successful called Disenchanted, that was a parody of Disney princesses.
Oh no!
So I don't know. I guess you can just say anything is Disney's Disenchanted, and Disney now owns that word. But I feel sorry for my friends who wrote that musical now.
Yeah, that's.
Well, maybe people will be confused and it'll draw them towards it. So
I mean, production has already completed on the feature. They shot it earlier this year. I don't really know anything as far as plot, but
the original leads are back. So.
Yes, we have 2 animated features for Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the first book, and then Roderick Rules coming in 2022. The first one, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, will launch on December 3rd of this year. We got a new poster for Chippendale Rescue Rangers, the CG animated reboot of the original animated series with John Mulaney and Andy Samberg as Chip and Dale. They showed a unrendered clip of it at Disney Plus, like the Worldwide Investor Day last year. And it's kind of like a Roger Rabbit situation where it's like hybrid animation and live action. It will stream in spring 2022, but that was all we got. The new Peter Jackson documentary about the Beatles, Get Back.
Yes, I'm excited for that.
Some clips. It launches in a little less than 2 weeks from now.
That's on Hulu, I believe.
Yes, a new show a movie, I suppose, called Better Nate Than Ever. You can't make it that and not have it sound like
That's a tongue twister.
Yeah, that's hard. We got our first look at the cast of Hocus Pocus 2 in their Sanderson sisters regalia.
And with the makeup, they pretty much look the same.
I don't really know what to think about this. It didn't need a sequel, I suppose, but it got too big.
It just because it's gone from like a flop to this like cult hit. It's earned a sequel just in terms of, I think, demand from the fans.
Yes. This next one I'm actually really excited about. It's a Bob Zemeckis movie, Pinocchio, inspired by the original animated feature. Are you not excited?
Well, I just remember that Bob Zemeckis and Tom Hanks, the last time they teamed up, they created creepy plastic wooden-looking humans called Polar Express. And if this, I guess this live action slash CGI Pinocchio is anywhere near as dead-eyed creepy as that was, I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
I mean, it's got Cynthia Erivo, who is now Elphaba in Universal's new Wicked picture coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Evans, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Keegan-Michael Key. It will premiere next fall. We mostly got logos for everything. That was the joke across film Twitter is like, oh, you're getting so excited for logos. The Ice Adventures of Buck Wild, starring Simon Pegg, will premiere on January 28th, 2022.
Apparently, Disney just realized that when they bought 20th Century Fox, they now own Ice Age. Like, oh, should we do something with this? Yeah, let's turn out another direct-to-video.
They keep making these movies, and I'm like, who are they for?
There's like 17 of them now. It's almost as many as The Land Before Time.
But those were good. Anyway, a new Cinderella-esque story called Sneakerella, set in the avant-garde street sneaker subculture of New York City, got a new trailer.
Yeah, we actually had footage of that.
Yes, and we also got a new trailer for the Proud Family Louder and Prouder reboot of the Disney Channel series from the 2000s, which was a staple for me growing up.
The animation for this looks really fun.
I'm so excited. The guest list, because Proud Family always had really great guest stars. And this one is like Lizzo. I think Lamar Odom Jr. is on there. Like all sorts of incredible guests. Start streaming February 2022. I assume it will be weekly episodes and not a whole season dump like Netflix does. We got a tease for High School Musical, the musical, the series, season 3, which looks like it will focus on Frozen, the musical. The Spiderwick Chronicles reboot, which was just announced. This one surprised me because I think Nickelodeon did the movie before, way back in the day.
Yes, I guess the rights were with Paramount, as far as I know. But I guess after the first movie that they made did not do great, they must have let the rights lapse, and Disney's picked them up, and it's going to make another go at it.
Well, according to the synopsis, Paramount is still working on it. It's Paramount Television
So maybe
Studios.
So I guess it's a joint production. Interesting.
Yeah. But it's a whole series. So if you read those books growing up, you'll get a full thing instead of just a movie. A new Baymax series titled Baymax will debut next summer.
Probably my favorite clip that they released. They released a little clip of Baymax working as a barista, and he understands my struggle in getting the to-go lids to stay on the cups. I really appreciated that.
And then we've also got a new short form series called Zootopia Plus, which will take you back into the world of Zootopia and feature all your favorite characters. And then this, which you said you saw Tiana in Hollywood Studios for the motorcade. Was she wearing this?
She was wearing a green dress. She had a scarf. She had a green hat. So I think it was kind of similar to the dress that we see in that image. Can't say it was 100% exact, but pretty close.
This is a new show from Walt Disney Animation Studios called Tiana. It's a long-form musical series coming in 2023, and I'm just excited because it doesn't say in the synopsis, but based on the image, it looks like it will be 2D animation.
Yeah,
like that of the film.
So Disney has not done very much 2D hand-drawn animation, and to do a whole musical long-form series, I mean, that's got to be a ton of work. So hopefully that means a bunch of 2D animators have jobs right now.
There is a world in which we can live in where we have both.
Yes.
Computer and
Amen.
2D. Yeah.
Amen.
We also got a trailer for Disney Intertwined, which is the first Disney Plus original series produced in Latin America, but you can access it on the streaming service here in the US. I watched a trailer for it. From my understanding, it's about a girl who travels back to 1994 because that was so long ago.
The ancient year of 1994.
That was the year I was born.
Yeah, but see, it's really not that much. Well, it's not that much different than Marty McFly going from 1985 back to 1955.
I'm old. And then Pixar presented Cars on the Road, which is a road trip-esque series streaming in 2022 with Larry the Cable Guy and Owen Wilson coming back as Mater and Lightning McQueen, which is a big deal. And then
they've done a whole bunch of Cars shorts over the years.
Yeah.
You know, they're on a lot of the DVDs, and they've been a lot of fun. So
the shorts are great. They're very funny. Pete
like
Docter.
them better than Cars 2.
Everything is better than Cars.
Anything's better than Cars 2.
Cars 3 is good though. I will.
Cars 3 has its moments.
Yes.
Cars 3 has its moments.
Pete Docter has announced 2 brand new documentaries coming in 2022 that cover the making of Turning Red and Lightyear. I love these kinds of documentaries. The Frozen 2 one especially is really great. I can't wait to watch those. And then we've also got
but if they really want to put a documentary on Disney Plus, they should release the Sweatbox. It's Sting's wife's documentary about the making of Kingdom of the Sun, which turned into Emperor's New Groove.
Oh.
And it's a banned documentary.
Oh
Disney
no!
was so upset with the documentary that they never let it be seen. But you can find it floating around on the internet. That is one. If they're really brave, they'll put that one on.
I think that's asking too much. We've also got our first real concept art look at Win or Lose, which they announced during the Investor Day last year. It's a 20-minute episode series that covers a middle school co-ed softball team from different perspectives. Each episode is centered around a different character, showing how things may look to one person but may be different to someone else. And then Marvel was like the crown jewel of the whole thing. They had the most reveals, the most exciting reveals. Like Hawkeye, we got another trailer for it. It premieres on the 24th on Disney Plus. We got our first look at Moon Knight and Oscar Isaac's really weird Cockney accent. It's weird. I had to watch it a couple of times. I was like, is that supposed to be him? What is that voice? It's slated to come to the streaming service in 2022, but it looks really like dark and mature.
Well, he's a knight who fights by the moon. No, I have not seen this trailer yet.
It's on Disney Plus. You can only watch it on the app unless they've uploaded it to YouTube by now. We also got to look at She-Hulk, which features, of course, Jennifer Walters as a lawyer who specializes in superhuman-oriented cases, but she is also a Hulk. Mark Ruffalo is also in the show, and they did a funny little thing where it's like, you won't like me when I'm angry, but it's so like direct to camera, like breaking the fourth wall about it. It's very funny. We got our first look at Ms. Marvel, also with another clip, which introduces Kamala Khan, a 16-year-old Pakistani American girl from Jersey City, and it kind of lays the framework for the Marvels coming out in a year or two. That one premieres in summer 2022. And then we got a bunch of like quick hit logos for other shows that are in development, like Echo, who will be introduced in Hawkeye, Ironheart, which is Riri Williams's, or origin story, a genius who creates the most advanced suit of armor since Iron Man. Agatha, House of Harkness, which I love.
It's the only one I care about.
And of course, Jack Schaefer, who was the head writer for WandaVision, is coming back to executive produce and be the head writer on this as well, so I'm very excited. We also got Secret Invasion, which they didn't show any clips per se from this, but they did show what Sam Jackson looks like for this. He has like the scars over his eye where Goose scratched him, and then he has like a big beard. It's like very post-apocalyptic looking. This is the Skrulls series.
I'm still a little surprised this storyline is a series and not a feature film.
I wonder if they're gonna work up to something big. It feels like they're starting to put all the ingredients in the pot. We also have the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, which I think is going into production before the movie, the third film. This one was a surprise. X-Men 97, a new animated series from Marvel Studios that brings back the voice actors and actresses from the original animated series from the 90s. And
Universal has to be so
timeline,
happy because the Islands of Adventure Marvel superhero island design scheme will suddenly be relevant once again for the first time in 30 years.
That one was like the wild card, I think, of all of the announcements for me personally. We got a confirmed season 2 for What If. We got a new Spider-Man animated series called Spider-Man Freshman Year that follows Peter Parker on his way to becoming Spider-Man in the MCU. So it is canon. It is in the timeline.
So I'm assuming this is going to be his freshman year of high school, taking place before he was introduced to the MCU.
Yeah,
not
I think
his freshman year of college.
Was Homecoming his sophomore? It was his sophomore or his junior year. We also got a logo for I Am Groot, a series of original shorts featuring Baby Groot getting into trouble and doing cute stuff that ultimately wrecks everything. And then we got a confirmed full feature for Marvel Zombies after the success of these zombie episodes of What If. It seems like this was a no-brainer. But it's going to be really depressing, I'm sure.
Yeah. Everyone gets eaten. Spoiler alert.
And then Lucasfilm was honestly kind of disappointing. They didn't really show much of anything. They had a Meet the Cast video released for Willow, the remake that premieres in 2022.
Funny. It's pretty funny because the whole thing is basically the cast ragging on Warwick Davis.
What's Willow? We also got a behind-the-scenes look at Obi-Wan Kenobi. The hot rumor was that we were going to get a trailer yesterday, and that didn't happen.
We got some concept art.
We got some concept art and some new footage of Ewan McGregor in training, in lightsaber training, but everything else was old footage, kind of compiled together across like Star Wars Celebration and other announcements and other Disney Plus things. At least that I can notice. A lot of the footage seemed really familiar to me. And then we also got a first look at Under the Helmet, The Legacy of Boba Fett, a new documentary that is streaming now on Disney Plus. You can check that out. And then National Geographic and shared clips for Welcome to Earth with Will Smith, which starts streaming on December 8th. America the Beautiful, which will stream in 2022. And Limitless with Chris Hemsworth, where we see Thor put his body to the literal limit, doing all sorts of crazy things, like being on this pole in the middle of the Grand Canyon.
Between this one and the one where they send Will Smith like in a submersible, and they're trying to kill off an A-list actor. That's all I can think. That they want, like, you know, someone really important to die on camera. That's all I can figure.
This one will also be streaming in 2022. And it's not mentioned here, but the first 5 episodes of season 2 of The World According to Jeff Goldblum are streaming now, by the way. That's also from Nat Geo. And then for international markets with Star and Hulu in the US, we got a look at Rosaline, a comedic twist on Romeo and Juliet from the perspective of Romeo's ex-girlfriend that he dumps for Juliet, who also happens to be Juliet's cousin, starring Caitlin Dever from Dear Evan Hansen, premiering in 2022. We got to look at The Princess, which is an irreverent action movie set in a fairy tale world starring Joey King, premiering in summer of next year. A new entry in the Predator franchise called Prey, premiering next summer, set in the world of the Comanche Nation 300 years ago, premiering in summer 2022. A lot of people on my social feeds were excited about that one. And then No Exit, a suspense thriller premiering in 2022 involving a rest stop with a group of strangers, which sounds great. But that is everything that they shared for Disney Plus Day. There were some things that were missing, like the previously announced Moana television animated series. No updated word on that. We did not hear anything about the Cassian Andor series that has, I mean, from my understanding, already wrapped production. Things like that.
I think they managed to fit quite a bit in, though.
Yeah, they did. It's definitely a lot. Just like from my observations online, the Star Wars community seemed to be the most disappointed. But there have been some other things in the pipeline. I think they're just working on a lot, especially trying to kind of build out the High Republic era from just books into other things. Because there is a rumor now that they are working on a High Republic video game. I don't know.
That would, yeah. Well, they've covered books and comic books, and so I would not be surprised for them to branch out into that.
Yeah, I mean, after Rise of Skywalker, I don't blame them for taking a break from the visual medium for a while. But what did you think of all of this? Was there anything that you were hoping to see that you didn't, or?
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked a little bit more details on Star Wars stuff, especially Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I mean, I'm glad I invested in that 3-year
oh yeah,
subscription
you did that
to Disney Plus. Yeah, they offered that to certain people when they first launched, and I'm glad I bought in. I think if I had to decide right now whether I'd subscribe for another year or not, they've got Book of Boba Fett, so that alone will probably keep me around. And I think if nothing else, I've gotten my money's worth over the last year in seeing movies that I would have gone to a movie theater to see anyway. So
yeah,
probably worth it just for seeing Shang-Chi last night, actually, because that was pretty darn good.
I like Shang-Chi a lot. Based on because they just had an investor call for Q4 this past week as well. And just based on Bob Chapek's comments, I would not be surprised if a more shortened theatrical window and then moving to Disney Plus is the way that they operate for the foreseeable future. I know most studios outside of like Disney and Warner Brothers, I think, have like the only in theaters threat on their trailers, which is fine. But I mean,
back in the day, it used to be like a 6-month window, and then it was like a 90-day window, and I think we're going to see like 30-day windows or less.
I mean, just for an example, I went and saw Last Night in Soho not 2 weeks ago, and it's going to be on digital like next week.
Oh, already.
I
need to see that. I was going to go see that in the movie theater, but maybe now I'll wait and watch it at home.
I mean, you can, and that's the thing of it. I wish I could have watched Eternals from home when I skipped out on going to the theater last week, but I think at this point we're past it of like killing the movie theater industry. But I think it definitely can affect early box office numbers. I think Dune was a victim of that initially, but I would...
Oh, for sure. I would have gone and paid to see Dune on a big screen if it hadn't been for free on HBO Max, for sure.
Yeah. But we'll see how that happens. It seems like Disney always has a lot in the pipeline, but their release schedule is very like crumbs every few months.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not. I mean, they have a fraction of the volume that, Amazon or Netflix puts out. But I will say that the overall, the average quality of the stuff they do is probably higher.
Yeah, I would.
Because, for every Squid Game on Netflix, there's a lot of really terrible stuff.
Yes. I mean, when you think of Netflix's marquee series like Squid Game and Bridgerton and like The Witcher and stuff, like those are all really high quality. But like you said, for every one, there's like 10 that are bad. And I would argue that everything that Disney has put out so far, as far as like under their brand umbrellas, it feels very appropriate. Like they're all similar, if not exact, in the quality.
Yeah.
So I guess that's something to be said as well. Movies and TV.
Wow. Yay. All right, we'll get back to theme parks next week.
Yes, that is everything that we had to talk about this week.
Well, thank you for sticking with us, because this was a super long episode.
And before we go, I do have one listener thank you to share.
Oh, yes.
So if you don't know, Attractions Magazine has a 4-tier subscription service. And if you pick Club or VIP the week after you subscribe, you get a shout out from us on the podcast. And this week, we are giving our shouts out to Ben Ainsley. Thank you so much for supporting Attractions and, by proxy, us.
Snaps up, Ben. Thank you.
And if you're interested, you can check out those subscription plans as well as pick up our fall issue on attractionsmagazine.com/store.
I just want to remind everyone, first, to thank our sponsor, Destinations with Character Travel. As always, thank you for your support. And if you want to support us too, please head on over to Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating. Please leave us a review. And I just want to share with you, if you want to find out more about Attractions Magazine or coverage, you can find us on the interwebs. I am at theunofficialguides.com. I'm at the UG Series on Twitter and at the Unofficial Guides on Instagram. Brittany, where can they find you?
You can find me at Brittany Tuttle. That's BRITTANITUTTLE on Twitter and Instagram, as well as every day at attractionsmagazine.com, at Attractions on Twitter, at Attractions Magazine on Instagram, and youtube.com/attractionsmagazine, where you've been hanging out with us. And I'm sorry we ran so long. We were just talking
Blame
away.
Disney Plus Day.
And until next week, I hope you guys stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.